What is going on YouTube? Since it is May 4th, there is no better day to go for a Star Wars Platinum trophy. With all of the games going on sale, we had a good selection. However, since the Bad Batch has sadly had that amazing final episode...
Are you crying, bro?
No, bro, I'm good, bro.
We decided to go for the classic game of Republic Commando. This old gen classic lets you go through 3 different battles as the Delta Squad and was the closest thing to a Bad Batch experience I could find. There are a total of 31 trophies to earn the Platinum this time round, and most of them or all of them could be done in one playthrough. Luckily, we do get a level select screen so we can clean up any that we miss very easily. In order to get the Platinum in one playthrough, you do have to play the game on the hardest difficulty. This puts the difficulty at a 4 out of 10 I would say, and the trophy guide says it will take around 15 hours. But we got to edit this video in time, so we're going to try and shave some of that time off with some top tier gaming. If you enjoy the video and want to see more Platinum experiences, please do leave a like and subscribe. Now, let's jump into the game and go right back to the beginning. Before we start, we have to go into the game settings on the main menu and make sure that we change the difficulty. This is the only way to do it for some reason, and we ain't playing this game through again. Now that we can start the game, we get our first series of cutscenes that introduces the Delta Squad. We take control of Boss, and the boys here are Fixer, Serve and Scorch. Yes, this is the same Scorch from Bad Batch that follows Hemcock around in the seasons and gets endgamed in the finale. But this is based in the good old days with the boys, before you know, the brainwashing and all that drama. We then fast forward a bit and are taken to a battle on Geonosis. Our squad has been separated for the moment as we each have been tasked with different objectives. It is here that we get a feel for the mechanics of the game. Republic Commando is a simple, constant action shooter where we normally are taking objectives or destroying strongholds. However, it is done very well despite being simple, and I can see why we all enjoyed it as kids, and now replaying it. Anyway, we get our first trophy here for finally meeting up with the boys on Geonosis. We then get another trophy shortly after once we make it past this door for slicing a terminal for the first time. Shortly after that, I get knocked for the first time, and once we request a revive, we get another trophy. Our objective at the moment is to basically blow up everything of importance in this base. So, we start with the ships and make our way through the corridors.
Bravo 6. Going dark.
In the next room, we get another easy trophy for hilariously punching a droid's head clean off. We are then tasked with entering the lower levels, so we zipline and stand here awkwardly outside the window because I didn't realise we were meant to shoot it. Inside this area, we also somehow managed to bounce a grenade off an exploded droid part to kill myself for this trophy. Then, shortly after, we manage to stop the final ship from leaving, and when it crashes, we complete the mission and get another trophy. In the next mission, we are heading underground to destroy a jammer, and while here, we get some pretty easy trophies early on. The first one was for shooting 10 explosive barrels. Then, we also got another one for having our visor cleaned 10 times from all of the bug guts. Our squad also got overwhelmed here pretty quickly, and I was able to get another trophy for reviving a teammate for the first time. What a nice string of trophies. Once we destroy the jammer, we need to head further into the base. Here we meet one of the most annoying enemies, these flying laser cutter bugs. They literally endgame me so much throughout this playthrough it wasn't even a joke. This did take a while, but we do make it through, and we find this pretty cool weapon that we don't use.
Bruh.
Our squad is also about to get another trophy for completing 10 bomb detonations. This was nice after the torture we just went through. With that, our objective is also complete for this mission, and we now need to extract. It was here where I experienced my first of very few glitches. Upon being revived, I could no longer use any of my weapons. We could literally only run and issue commands. Speaking of commands, we also get another trophy for issuing and cancelling a command immediately. Luckily, we only had to complete the mission to force the game to reset and fix it all. In the next mission, we then head to a different part of the battle to help out our brothers. This doesn't go entirely as planned, but we are able to help most. We of course had a lot of droids to clear through as our boys were getting railed with no lube. Luckily though, in the middle of the fighting we were able to locate the final weapon in the game, netting us another trophy. It was in the next room however that we stumbled across a spider droid wandering through the base, which essentially is a walking tank and will one-shot us given the chance. For this first one, we commanded our boys to deal with it while we hid away and repeatedly healed. When the squad took out the tank, we got the trophy for killing our first spider droid.
This is really diplomacy at its finest.
With that taken out, we head further into the base and decide it was time to split up to all attack different rooms at the same time. Since we don't have the boys anymore, you would be correct in assuming that we struggled here. I got sent back to the lobby around 20 times before I was able to make it through the vents and clear the storage room. After we were done with that torture, we then met up with Sev and he Roman Reigns spears this baby bell droid. We then have to shoot our way through more droids until we make it back to the rest of the boys. This bit was actually quite fun, not gonna lie. With the gang back together, we now need to leave the facility, which of course involved a lot more shooting. But once we make it to our evac shuttle, we not only complete Geonosis, but we also get another trophy. For our next series of missions, we are infiltrating this massive ship. At first, we start off split up from the squad, but we do get to watch another clone get eaten by this droid. This new enemy type, by the way, took me a while to figure out, and they were still annoying even then. The next part is where we get to experience just how fun these flying little are. But once we make it through to this room, we then watch Sev get jumped from this balcony while he was looking at some weird stuff online. We are also then immediately attacked and endgamed a couple of times before escaping through this vent and watching another clone get executed. While shooting our way through some of the ship, one of the flying droids decided it was my turn to be dinner. However, after quickly fending him off, we were able to net ourselves another trophy. This dopamine is shortly lived as we were promptly ambushed and had to reset a couple of times here.
Boom.
You stupid.
Our suffering does come to an end though, once we make it through and dip into this vent. We stumble across a hidden collectible lightsaber which gives us another trophy. After making it through the corridor, we not only meet up with one of our squad, but we also watch another one get jumped. We of course have to help and then go round up the gang very quickly after. With us all together again, we go after the bridge on the ship and blow it up. While here, we have to defend it from a lot of incoming droids, but we were also able to get another trophy for issuing every command at least once. Once we cleared the bridge, we make our way to the hangars and start causing more carnage. Between the different hangars, we stumble across this final enemy weapon type and pick it up for a trophy. In the next hangar, we then start by blowing things up, but there was yet another trophy in this room which we got mid-combat. Essentially, it was for locating this speeder, and we have the option to ghosty it into the enemies.
Boom.
Then, in the final hangar, we really up the ante, and not just by enemies, but by stealing this walker and turning it on them. Before we have any fun though, we do get knocked by its leg and then proceed to watch our teammate glitch out and not revive me. After restarting checkpoint and actually making it to the walker this time, we were able to hop aboard and destroy the entire hangar. We also got a trophy for getting a kill with the walker, even though we got way more than one. The squad's final objective was to now hijack the ship's defensive system and turn it onto the enemies. This of course meant we had a pretty big battle here while we hacked the terminals, but after holding our ground for long enough, we not only get a trophy for completing all missions on the ship, but we also watch it take out another massive ship as well. Our final set of missions is based on Kashyyyk, and we are being deployed to help the Wookiees defend their home. This involves taking back multiple checkpoints and areas with force. There are plenty of sections that we struggled with here, and we hadn't even made it to the main base yet. Eventually, however, we do manage to find a Wookiee that was being held hostage, and then he parkours over this wall. Don't worry, we only have to push a little bit solo, but he comes back and absolutely yeets this lizard into the afterlife. A few more combat sequences later, we then find out that General Grievous is here of all people, and has bought droids with pegging sticks. And as Deadpool says,
"Pegging isn't new for me, friendo, but it is for Disney."
There was a few of them in this room, and despite killing myself with a grenade, we were able to make it through with the Wookiee Tarful. In one of the next combat sequences, we managed to unlock another trophy for hitting 5 enemies with 1 thermal grenade. Shortly after that, we managed to get another trophy for ending 100 enemies by fisting. Our squad is then tasked with taking out the bridge, providing reinforcements, and we got several resets here before deciding to take our time. It took around 20 minutes to get through here, but eventually we wipe out the enemies and realise that we need some extra firepower to take out the bridge. Luckily for us, we found a rocket launcher on this balcony, and by shooting the fuel pumps we were able to destroy it. With the bridge down, our next objective was to locate our Wookiee friend from earlier, which of course meant lots more fighting. Eventually though, we do find Tarful and are then immediately attacked, but after fending them off, we change our focus to taking down the Separatist cruiser. First off, we focus on clearing out some of the enemies and securing the hangar area where this random Wookiee honourably sacrifices himself for the greater good. With the hangar secure, we can now try and secure some turrets that will help with taking down the cruiser. This involved lots of combat sections in corridors and quite confined areas with all of the enemies that we have taken on so far. But first, we have to deal with this spider droid just chilling in this room, and there were many more too in this mission. The boys then secure the first turret and start blasting, leaving 3 more to reclaim. This of course involved more corridors and another spider droid, which gave us some trouble because we blew all of our resources on the first one. Talk about shooting too early, boys, am I right?
Hold up.
We then made it to 2 more turrets and of course dropped the boys off. Now we of course have to make it to the last turret on our own, and this took some time, mainly due to my own incompetence and some dying of course. Let's cover my incompetence first. There is a trophy for beating a level without alerting any creatures in these eggs. However, I don't believe you can do it on this mission, and it is locked behind a specific one. Not knowing this, I then proceeded to spend 15 minutes ever so slowly clearing this room without alerting an egg, using a couple of resets here and there of course, for no trophy. After such a defeat, we shortly made it to our final turret and used it to tickle the ship in all of the sensitive spots, opening it up to one final magic trick where we get flashbanged for a trophy, and just like that the entire ship vanishes. With that, the boys then find out that Sev gets attacked over the comms, and we were ordered to go back to our ship 1 man short. On this ship, we thought we were going to get debriefed, but not exactly. We were then told by Yoda himself to go back and save our friend who has been left for God knows how long. Even weirder, with those orders comes the end of the game and a nice set of trophies. So, we get all 3 difficulty based trophies for beating the game on easy, medium and hard. Then, the credits roll immediately after and we are left with a bit of confusion to those last 5 minutes. But we got 3 trophies. Since the campaign is now done, we are only left with 4 trophies for that juicy platinum. We started off with the most annoying one, that nest trophy that I mentioned earlier. So we go to chapter select, find the correct level this time, and then proceed to struggle for another 40 minutes as we constantly replay this room. It took a fair few attempts to find the sources of my problem. Firstly, I don't think you can use the quick save feature here to checkpoint yourself. Secondly, avoid shooting the canisters. Apparently online people had issues when using the explosives, so I would just shoot them, there is plenty of ammo. Lastly, there are these 2 eggs right here that took me way too many attempts to spot, and even when I did, it took 2 further attempts to get the trophy. Finally though, we were able to get the trophy for making it through here without alerting any of the creatures in those eggs. The next trophy that we went for was for getting 10 kills on a turret attached to a gunship. We of course have been using turrets, but needed to use these ones in particular. Once we get 10 kills, we then pop our next trophy. The next trophy that we went for was for dropping a droid dispenser on 4 enemies. We went to this one spot here, where once you clear out the first set of enemies, the next wave all group up right under one, netting us this trophy with ease. The last trophy on the list was to die 10 times in one level, and we have an easy way to get this one too. We simply load into a mission where we have loads of grenades at the start. On hard difficulty, your own grenades will one-shot you. So we just stood at the start of the level and kept blowing ourselves up in front of the squad until we do it enough times to pop the trophy. Then of course, the platinum trophy pops very shortly after. Overall, I really enjoyed this game, and I can see why it was loved amongst the people who play it. It definitely is a great Star Wars game, and that's saying something, as Star Wars is something the gaming industry struggles to get right. The Platinum Experience was a short but enjoyable one, like your sex tape. In the end, we managed to complete the Platinum in 8 to 9 hours, so not the longest game I have gone for, but a worthy one to add to the list. If you want to see more Platinum Experience videos and enjoyed this one, please do leave a like and subscribe. Now I am off to bed to become a vegetable and shake this cold. I will see you in the next one.
我很喜欢冰淇淋。